Australians buy deodorant like it is a no-brainer. You grab one at Coles, Woolworths, Chemist Warehouse or Priceline, spray twice, and you are out the door. But the label is doing a lot of work you never see, and the front of the can is often more marketing than meaning. In Australia, the mandatory cosmetics ingredients labelling rules require a full ingredient list, but it is written in technical ingredient names and it can still hide big mixtures behind simple words like fragrance. Productsafety.gov.au mandatory standard explains that ingredients present at more than 1% are generally listed in descending order by weight, and then ingredients at 1% or less can be listed in any order after that. So the bottom of the list is still important, but it is not ranked the same way. This is why just a trace marketing can be slippery. A color, preservative, or fragrance component might sit in that final section and still matter for sensitive skin for some people. So in today's video, we are breaking down 7 hidden chemical traps in Aussie deodorants, the exact label phrases that should make you pause, and the practical ways to shop smarter without falling for panic marketing. And at the end, we will cover 3 deodorant options that are genuinely more transparent and easier to live with, based on what their ingredient lists actually show. Now, let's kick things off with number 7, because it is the one hiding in plain sight. Number 7. Fragrance or parfum, the catch-all ingredient that can hide a whole cocktail, commonly found in almost every fresh or sport deodorant on the shelf. The surface appeal is obvious. According to AICIS, fragrance chemicals are widely used and are treated as industrial chemicals in Australia, which is why you see a lot of unfamiliar names. The hidden issue is that fragrance is not one chemical. It is a mixture, and most shoppers never know what is inside that blend. A therapeutic goods. Administration Freedom of Information release on cosmetic ingredients explains that ingredients can sometimes be listed in groups, and perfume or fragrance mixtures may be listed simply as fragrance or parfum, rather than spelling out every component. That matters because fragrance is one of the most common triggers for skin reactions. The Better Health channel, run by the Victorian government, explains that contact dermatitis can be triggered by fragrances and preservatives, and it can show up as redness, itching, and irritation where the product touches skin. And the Australasian Society of Clinical Immunology and Allergy notes that perfumes and fragrances can trigger allergic contact dermatitis in some people. If you have ever randomly gotten sore underarms, this is the first thing to check. The better approach is boring but powerful. Choose fragrance-free where you can, and if you do want scent, look for products that list their scent ingredients clearly rather than hiding everything behind a single word. And if you have a history of dermatitis, follow the Better Health channel guidance and patch test new products by using a small amount first and stopping if irritation appears. Number 6. Aluminium salts, the ingredient that gets used as a fear trigger even when Australian authorities do not back the panic. You have seen the labels: aluminium-free, clean, non-toxic, women's safe. The surface appeal is that it sounds protective, like aluminium is a secret danger. But here is what official Australian sources actually say. Cancer Council Australia states there is no good evidence that deodorants or antiperspirants cause breast cancer. Cancer Australia says the evidence linking deodorants or antiperspirants to breast cancer is unproven, and it describes a causal link as unlikely. And AICIS has published an evaluation statement on aluminium chlorohydrate in antiperspirants, which also notes there is no evidence that antiperspirants containing aluminium cause breast cancer. That does not mean aluminium products are perfect for everyone. Some people find aluminium salt antiperspirants irritating, especially after shaving, and the label directions usually warn against using on broken skin. But the big consumer trap is the marketing leap from "some prefer aluminium-free" to "aluminium is toxic for women." The evidence from Australian cancer authorities does not support that claim. So the better way to shop is to treat aluminium-free as a preference, not a health guarantee. If you sweat heavily, aluminium salts are one of the main ingredients used to reduce wetness. And if you want to avoid them, do it for comfort reasons and still read the rest of the label. Number 5. Paraben-free claims, where the label tries to scare you away from preservatives that Australian chemical assessments have already reviewed. Parabens, like methylparaben and propylparaben, are preservatives used to stop microbial growth in water-based products. Surface appeal of paraben-free is that it sounds cleaner, like you are avoiding something dangerous. But Australian government assessments do not match the panic. The National Industrial Chemicals Notification and Assessment Scheme, NICNAS, published an assessment statement for methylparaben that considered its cosmetic use and described the risk as low under the assessed conditions. That does not mean every paraben product suits every person. The Better Health Channel notes that preservatives can be a trigger for contact dermatitis, which is why some people prefer to avoid certain preservative systems. The real consumer issue is when brands use paraben-free as a shortcut to imply safer, while quietly replacing parabens with different preservatives you have never heard of. According to the ACCC's guidance on environmental and green marketing claims, businesses need to be accurate and able to substantiate claims, and vague impressions that a product is cleaner or better can mislead shoppers. So instead of chasing a single free-from label, look at the whole formula, especially the first 5 ingredients, and decide what you are actually trying to avoid: irritation, fragrance, or just marketing noise. Number 4. Phenoxyethanol, the preservative that shows up when brands want to be paraben-free but still need the product to not grow bacteria. Phenoxyethanol is common in personal care, and it often appears in gentle formulas because it is effective at low levels. The catch is that shoppers are rarely told why it is there. According to a NICNAS assessment statement for phenoxyethanol, the agency considered its use in cosmetics and concluded the risk was low under the assessed conditions. That is the key phrase, because hazard and risk are not the same thing. A chemical can cause irritation at certain concentrations or in certain people, but still be considered low risk at the levels used in cosmetics. The Better Health Channel points out that preservatives can be triggers for dermatitis, and underarms are a high friction area which can make mild irritation feel worse. If you notice stinging, redness, or a rash that lines up with a new roll-on, check for phenoxyethanol and for fragrance in the same product, because those two together are a common irritation combo. The better approach is to treat underarm skin like facial skin. Keep it simple. Avoid layering fragrance on top of fragrance. And if you are switching products, change one thing at a time so you can identify the trigger. Number 3. Fragrance again, but this time for what it can hide inside the scent system, like phthalates used as fragrance solvents or fixatives. This is where the hidden chemicals phrase is closest to reality, because some ingredients can sit inside a fragrance blend and never appear as a separate word on the label. One example often discussed internationally is diethyl phthalate, or DEP, which has been used in fragrance as a solvent. In Australia, NICNAS published an assessment statement for diethyl phthalate and assessed its use in consumer products, describing the risk as low under the assessed conditions. But if you are trying to reduce exposure to certain fragrance-related chemicals, the problem is practical, not conspiratorial. The label may still just say fragrance. This matters most for people who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or managing hormone-related health anxiety, because endocrine headlines spread fast online. The honest answer from the Australian Chemical Assessment is that risk depends on dose and use conditions, not the scariest headline. So your move is simple. If you want maximum transparency, choose fragrance-free. If you want scent, choose brands that spell out essential oils or individual fragrance components rather than hiding everything behind parfum. And if you get reactions, the Australasian Society of Clinical Immunology and Allergy advises that fragrance allergy is real for some people. So treat repeated underarm irritation as a signal, not something to push through. If you are still watching and these source-backed facts are helping you shop smarter, drop the number 47 in the comments. It helps me know you are getting value from this kind of investigation. And if you have not already, hit subscribe and the bell so you do not miss the next episode, because this stuff changes fast when marketing trends shift. Alright, let's keep going with number 2, because this one is about what you breathe in, not just what you put on skin. Number 2. Aerosol propellants and spray clouds, the thing nobody thinks about because it is just deodorant. Look at a typical aerosol label and you will often see propellants like butane, propane, or isobutane. The point is not to panic, it is to understand the exposure. WorkSafe ACT's safety guidance on aerosol cans warns that aerosols are pressurized and many contain flammable propellants, and the instructions focus on ventilation and keeping them away from heat sources. Choice has also warned in its consumer safety guidance on spray-on cosmetic products that aerosol formats can create inhalable mist and that propellants like butane and propane are commonly used. WorkSafe ACT's guidance also stresses ventilation when using aerosols because the spray cloud can linger in the air, especially in small bathrooms. Here is the consumer angle. If you spray in a tiny, steamy bathroom and breathe it in every morning, you are increasing inhalation exposure compared to a roll-on or a stick. You are also more likely to trigger coughing or throat irritation if the product contains fragrance and alcohol. The better approach is straightforward. Spray in a well-ventilated space, keep the nozzle away from your face, and if you are sensitive, switch to roll-ons or creams so your exposure is mostly skin, not lungs. Number 1. Clean, chemical-free, non-toxic, and natural. The claims that sound like safety, but often mean nothing in law. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Everything is chemicals, including water, and chemical-free is basically marketing poetry. The ACCC's guidance on environmental and green claims warns businesses not to make vague claims that cannot be substantiated and not to create a false overall impression. The Australian Association of National Advertisers Environmental Claims Code also requires that environmental and sustainability claims be truthful, accurate, and able to be substantiated. And when it comes to cosmetics, productsafety.gov.au's mandatory labelling standard is focused on having an ingredient list that consumers can read, not on defining clean or toxic. So, when a deodorant brand screams "no nasties" on the front, the real question is, what did they remove? What did they replace it with? And is the ingredient list actually simpler? Sometimes, natural deodorants still use strong essential oils that can irritate skin. And the Better Health channel includes fragrances as a common trigger for contact dermatitis. Sometimes aluminium-free deodorants still rely on baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, and for some people, that is more irritating than aluminium salts. The better move is to stop shopping by vibes. Shop by label transparency, by how your skin actually reacts, and by whether the claims match the back of the pack. Now that we have exposed the 7 biggest deodorant traps using official Australian sources, it is time to shift gears. Because not everything on Aussie shelves is trying to scare you into a premium price. Here are 3 deodorant options that are actually more transparent and easier to judge by their ingredients, so you can pick what fits your body and your comfort level. First pick, No Pong Fragrance Free in the bicarb-free option. According to No Pong's official ingredient information, their bicarb-free deodorant uses magnesium hydroxide as the active deodorizing base, and their fragrance-free version avoids essential oils and added fragrance entirely. That matters because, as the Better Health channel explains, fragrances can be a common trigger for contact dermatitis, so removing fragrance is one of the simplest ways to reduce irritation risk. It is also transparent. You can read the whole formula without chasing vague words. And because AICIS explains that cosmetics ingredients are regulated as industrial chemicals in Australia, the safest shopping habit is still to read the full list and watch how your skin responds. This pick will not be perfect for everyone, but it is an example of what simple and checkable looks like. Second pick, Mugu's bicarb-free deodorant stick, like the coconut cream version. According to Mugu's official product page, the ingredients include magnesium hydroxide and zinc oxide, plus oils and waxes, and the scent is described
as fragrance that is phthalate-free. The key advantage here is not that it is magical, it is that the brand is more specific than a label that hides everything behind parfum. If you want scent, but you want fewer unknowns, this kind of disclosure makes it easier to make an informed choice. And if you are the type who reacts to essential oils, you can see them in the ingredient list and decide whether to skip it. That is how consumer power is meant to work under Australia's ingredients labelling rules. Third pick, QV Naked Antiperspirant Deodorant, for people who need sweat control but want fragrance-free. According to QV's official ingredient list, the QV Naked Antiperspirant uses aluminium salts like aluminium chlorohydrate in the spray format and aluminium zirconium tetrachlorohydrexgly in the roll-on format, and it is designed to be free from fragrance and alcohol. This is where the earlier myth bust matters. Cancer Council Australia and Cancer Australia both explain that the evidence linking antiperspirants to breast cancer is unproven or unlikely. And AICIS also notes no evidence that aluminium antiperspirants cause breast cancer. So, if you personally tolerate aluminium salts and you want less wetness, you do not need to be guilt-tripped by toxic for women marketing. You just need to watch for irritation and follow label directions, especially avoiding use on broken skin. So, how do you spot these deodorant tricks yourself when nobody is there with you in the aisle? Here is your quick checklist based on Australian consumer standards and health guidance. First, look for the full ingredient list, not just the front claims. Productsafety.gov.au's cosmetics ingredients labelling standard exists so you can judge the product by what is inside. And it requires ingredients on the container, so if a product makes big claims but hides the list, that is a red flag. Second, scan for fragrance or parfum. The TGA's cosmetic ingredient guidance shows fragrance can be listed as a single word, and the Better Health Channel and ASCIA both link fragrance to contact dermatitis triggers, so fragrance-free is the simplest low-drama option for sensitive skin. Third, decide whether you are buying a deodorant or an antiperspirant. If you want less wetness, aluminium salts are commonly used, and Australian cancer authorities do not support the claim that they cause breast cancer. Fourth, do not let free-from labels decide for you. NICNAS assessments have concluded low risk for some preservatives like methylparaben and phenoxyethanol under assessed conditions, so paraben-free is not automatically safer, it is just different. Fifth, choose your format carefully. WorkSafe ACT warns aerosols can involve flammable propellants, and the safest everyday habit is ventilation. So if you use spray, do it in fresh air or with a window open. Sixth, if you keep getting irritation, stop cycling products randomly. The Better Health Channel
recommends identifying triggers and avoiding known irritants. So keep a simple note of what you used when the reaction happened. And seventh, remember the difference between fear words and evidence. The ACCC and the AANA both say claims should be substantiated, so when a product leans hard on toxic, clean, or chemical-free, treat it as an advertising strategy until the ingredient list proves otherwise. Look, the personal care aisle is full of marketing designed to make you feel unsafe, so you spend more chasing clean labels. But when you know what to look for, and you rely on Australian authorities like productsafety.gov.au, AICIS, Cancer Council Australia, Cancer Australia, the ACCC, and health guidance like the Better Health Channel and ASCIA, you take back control. Every claim in this video is checkable. Every source is public. Because you deserve information you can verify, not just vibes on a label. If this video helped you spot the deodorant tricks and
Shop with more confidence. Hit like, subscribe if you have not already,
and share this with someone who keeps getting sucked into non-toxic panic marketing. All key sources are listed in the description so you can verify everything yourself. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode of Aussie Exposed, where we break down more everyday products with receipts. Your skin will thank you.